Before any event starts, it is good to start in the name of the Creator, say thanks, and if you could all please rise just for a second, I would really appreciate it. Dear Almighty, we thank you for this day. We thank you for bringing us to this point of learning, and the guests that have joined us today, we thank you for bringing them forth, and we ask for you to bless this event and make it a success. We thank each and every person that has come here, and we ask that you bless them and keep your blessings on them continuously in their journey, as they journey towards the upliftment of literacy, as they journey towards the upliftment of self-discovery, as well as on their journey towards eternal success. So Lord, we ask you to guide us and keep us safe, keep us blessed always. Amen. Hi everybody. Oh,
Hi,
I've got lights. I'm the shining star today, just to let you know. All right, for those of you who didn't catch it, I am Zeeni M. I'm one of the coordinators for this afternoon's project. It is a literacy upliftment project brought to you by a wonderful author of anthology, Mr. Mervin Francis. And we are doing this today because we believe that literacy has taken a back seat. We believe that literacy needs more projects such as these to take us forward and to help us educate our young ones, as well as to give a platform to those who haven't had one before. This is also for those of you who are published but never had the opportunity or were lacking opportunities to showcase. Now, this is one of the first. Moving forward, we are obviously wanting to do more projects such as these, including the Durban International Book Fair, which is coming up at the end of November. And we want each and every one of you to have an opportunity on this platform. Having this type of platform is something that is very rare in Durban particularly. We do have projects that are happening, but many of them are very far and wide and do not give an audience to many of our authors, poets, lyricists, and so forth. So we want to make this go big. And the only way we can do that is if more of us come on board and we project this in different arenas, different areas, to ensure that we have a voice. Do the poets have a voice today? Very rarely, unless they publish a book. Some of them have it on social media, but that's as far as it gets. Do authors have a voice today? No. Very rarely and very far and wide. So we want to make this an ongoing thing. We want to be able to project it in so many different areas that it becomes widely talked about. And our kids will actually have an opportunity to say, you know what, maybe I can do this. Because if they are doing it, they're not seeing anybody out there making a name for themselves. We look at all the authors and poets internationally. They have so many different platforms. Why don't we have that here? Why? Because there are no such platforms that are giving people like ourselves an opportunity. So the Poetry Fest is one of first to be held moving forward. We are going to be having this probably biannually, if not annually. This is the first, and this is definitely not the last. So I want to thank each and every one of you that has stepped foot in here today to make this opportunity possible for many of us. But letting bygones be bygones, we passed that stage. Now we are here today because of one person, and that is the absolutely amazing Mr. Mervin Francis. So a little about Mervin. He looks like a pastor. People think he's a pastor. They even ask me, is he a pastor? No. He is the most amazing human being though. He has written 3 anthologies, and he's going on to his 4th. And to top things off, he's also writing his first novel. Obviously, he's reached, I think, writer's block temporarily. No? No? Okay, I want to see the book in the next couple of months. I am his slave driver. People know me as his slave driver because I give him challenges and he has to fulfill them within a specific time period. I am his PRO, and I'm looking forward to being a PRO for many of you that's sitting here as well that need one. All right? So this is what I do. I project. I find situations where we can motivate you, promote you, take you forward, and I challenge you. My challenging is based on what I think your capability is and what you can achieve. And if I feel that you have the potential, I'm going to push you to do it. Why? Because we do not reject. We motivate, we escalate, and we help you achieve. That's what we do. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our host for this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mervin M.
Good morning and welcome everyone. Like always, I don't think I was actually planning to come in and give a speech. I know you were supposed to be doing a bio. There we go. So, firstly, it's nice to have you authors together. The aim of this, when we started, was to have a bonfire, actually.
Yes.
And around the bonfire, we was going to do some poetry reading. We were even going to invite people from the crowd to actually, who has poetry, to just come through and do some reading, just to get the feel of what it is like there, to get the platform to say things that you don't normally do. A lot of us are afraid of a lot of things, and one of the biggest things that we are afraid of is rejection. And I've heard that from one of our authors, upcoming authors, who you will get to meet shortly. And this is maybe, in a way, trying to inspire and motivate her that fear helps. Fear helps, fear drives us. And as long as we take in that fear and make it work for us as a fuel, I think it'll bear a lot of stories, it'll bear a lot of future endeavors, and also inspire you to go further. Today's activity was actually brought together, not just by myself, but also in collaboration with my PRO, Zeeni M, and the Hands-On Foundation. So what the Hands-On Foundation does is that they, behind the scene, are an NPO that tries to generate literacy throughout schools, throughout different kind of platforms, so that we know that we can learn a lot more and also share a lot more. So as an author, Hands-On Foundation dragged me in, and that's Dash herself. So they dragged me in to say, you're going to be our new voice. And to collaborate with them and to bring more authors to the platform, I think is one way of us actually building a better South Africa. I've had the pleasure of doing a book launch together with my marketing consultant, Noshad Khan from Multi Marketing, where we went to the Durban Library and they did a book launch, and 2 of my books were there. And they are part of the UNESCO group. And one of the drivers that they have is to get books out where people can start reading. With a 23% literacy in South Africa, I think that's a very poor sign of people of not reading, not understanding. So the drive is 1 book per family, am I right, Nosha? Yeah, so the aim is to get a book into the household where the family together can actually read, and a lot of things can be learned from it. And one of those things that we come to understand is that in the rural township, there's a lot of things that we do not see. And one of the things that happened there was where a woman who was running around naked into another person's property was actually stoned to death. The amazing thing about it is that we are not cultured in understanding what was happening. And when they later found out, because they had assumed that she was doing witchcraft, and hence the reason why they actually stoned her, only to find out later on that she was actually suffering from dementia. Now we authors, we with our ability to write and to put these stories and create these stories of experiences, of things that we've already seen, helps people to understand these things. So a book at home with something of that magnitude, like understanding dementia into a story, will actually educate people. A life could have been saved. So reading has a big influence on people, on our lives, and in our livelihoods as well. So from that point of view, this is what is actually part of a driver towards Poetry Fest. Poetry Fest being, let's get poets together. Because one of the things we found out is that in the market, your authors, you guys are it all. Because your books, they tend to sell a lot. And bookstores actually look for storybooks. Whereas poetry has a very small market. And we have to drive it such that we get it out there. But at the same time, we don't want to frighten poets. We want to get the poets out. We want them to start feeling that command that they have. If you sit and watch a movie, I don't think they talk about authors in their movies, but they will talk about a poet any day, any time. A poem is recited during movies, so it tells you a lot in terms of poetry, although it doesn't sell that much, but it speaks volumes and it speaks life. So when we started this Poetry Fest, we had the pleasure of having Nosha partner with us for this year. And the good thing about him is he has authors. And it so happened that we now got authors and poets in the same house working towards the same direction, and that is to get our literacy out there. So, Nosha, thank you very much for your participation and your support in getting your authors. To the authors, thank you very much for actually taking the time off of your busy schedules and coming here just to be with people, to share your knowledge, to share your stories as well. So I want to hand you back over to Zeeni. She is the program director, my slave driver, and I wish you'll have a good day today, and let's learn from one another how we can go forward. Thank you.
I'm back. So, but for the rest of the day, we all are going to hear that I am a slave driver. So that's literally my middle name, Zeeni M, the slave driver, and whatever my surname is. So we're going to leave that one out though. All right? So thank you, Mervin. Looking at this project, and from what Mervin has said, we are trying at the end of the day to make sure, firstly, everyone receives a platform. Secondly, we want everybody to feel comfortable being able to write. Not only because we want to create more authors or more poets. No, we want you to be able to pen down. We want people to understand that you don't have to stop writing. Because a lot of people feel because there aren't no platforms, because it's really not worth it anymore to write a book. Because everybody's seeing it on technology. They're seeing it on all these platforms that have come up on media, where you can write there, you can market it there, you can sell it there. So they don't need to put pen to paper anymore. Now this is where we all go wrong. It's okay to do that, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's also important that we pen down everything. Why do we need to pen it down? Because it helps us also to reflect. When we look at what we've written, it helps us to think and see clearly. It's also, I've heard the word therapeutic, right? It's therapeutic to do it. I think Noshad and we had this conversation as well. It's a means for us to be able to take out what's inside. And then when you read it back to yourself, you have a whole new view of it. So the important thing is, opportunity comes with what we put into it. It's not about having to stand there and say, I don't see the opportunity out there. You don't see the opportunity. You need to create the opportunity. And that's what we are here to do today. Because if we had to stand together and give kids an opportunity to grow, it's an opportunity they never had. We are projecting into them. But we're also giving ourselves a chance to grow and become better at what we do. There's a lot we can learn from each other. There's a lot that we can do when we collaborate. They say you can break a single stick, but you can't break a whole bunch of them when you put them together. Why? Because there's unity.